We are going to start off by hiding our eyebrows. I'm using a glue stick for this, and you want to get them as flat and as smooth as possible. For your information, if you're wondering why the background and everything's different, I was actually doing a demonstration with NYX Professional Makeup. This was done in Manchester with United Makeup Artists Expo. So taking the NYX SFX Creme colours, I'm going to begin by creating kind of like the skull-like shape. I'm using my finger as a tool because I think it's just really super simple and easy to apply, and it's also great for blending as well. So I'm taking the purple and I'm just kind of creating the outlines, and then I'm going in with some white and I'm just going to kind of fill in the rest of the cheeks. Next, I'm grabbing a brush and some white. I'm going to start creating the shape of the teeth, and I'm not worrying too much about detail just yet at this point. I'm just getting the basic shapes down. Using my finger again, I'm just going in with some purple and I'm just kind of filling in above the teeth area, and then I'm going in with some white and I'm just applying this onto my nose and my forehead area. Just be a little bit careful around the eyebrow area as you don't want to lift off the glue. I'm contouring with the purple and I'm creating a transition from the purple to the white, and to get a really nice smooth even blend, I'm repeatedly dabbing with my finger and a beauty blender as well. Taking some black and using my finger again, I'm starting to create the cheekbone, and then bouncing back on, I'm just going to start creating the bottom teeth. I know this tutorial is all over the place, I do apologise for that, I do like to work really randomly. Taking some pink, I'm just applying this onto the insides of the, I'm not sure what you'd even call it, the cheeks. And then I'm also applying this to my jawline. I'm curving it so it goes quite high up, so it kind of creates a skull-like shape. And then for the rest of the jaw, I'm just using a mixture of some white and some purple, and I'm just kind of filling in the rest. As you can see, I've left some gaps on the edges of the jawbone because this is just going to help me define each of the shapes and add highlight as well. And then taking a brush and some white, and I'm just going to apply kind of like a line following the shape. And then I decided I wanted the bottom to be even darker, so I've gone in with some black and I've just applied that. And then I'm just starting to build up the jaw still, so I'm just kind of painting the curvy lines and blending it all together. Of course you want to do the same on the other side, and now I'm moving on to the teeth. I'm just extending them upwards onto my face. For the brows, I'm grabbing some eyeshadow. I'm using the NYX Ultimate Brights eyeshadow palette, and I'm just going to start forming the shape of the brow. Of course I'm going for some pink. You can use a cream colour if you wanted to as well, it's completely up to you. And I'm just going in with an angled brush as well to just kind of form the shape, define it and bring it all together. And then for where the brow begins, I'm flicking upwards and I'm creating kind of like hairs almost to give it a bit of an ombre natural look. Moving on to the nose without even completing the other eyebrow, I've gone in with some pink SFX Creme colour and I'm starting to form the shape of the nose. It's kind of like a skull nose. And then of course you want to do the same on the other brow. Taking some SFX setting powder, I'm just going to set around the teeth area. This is because when I outline the teeth, it's not going to be as slippery and as creamy, if that makes sense. It's just easier for smaller details. Grabbing some black and a very fine brush, I'm just going to outline the teeth. Then I'm grabbing some eyeshadow and a really fine brush, and I'm creating vertical shadow coming from in between each of the tooth. You want to use swiping, flicking motions for this. Take your time and build it up slowly, add a small amount of product on the brush each time you apply, and try and make the shadow so that it's more intense as it goes towards the teeth and it goes more opaque as it goes away. As you can see, I'm bringing the shadow so it goes quite high up onto my face as well. And then I'm just going backwards and forwards with the shadow and the white. I'm just adding shadow here and there, and then I'm going back in with some white to sharpen up the white lines. Moving on to the eyes, I'm going to be taking the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, and I'm just going to apply this onto my eyelids and underneath as well. Taking the NYX Ultimate Brights eyeshadow palette once again, I'm using the blue from this. I'm just going to grab an eyeshadow brush and start to form the shape of a cut crease. Use an angled brush to do this as well to get a nice shape. I'm just being a little bit of a perfectionist here, but I'm just going back in with some white and I'm just sharpening up the brows. Continuing the cut crease, I'm just going in with some yellow and I'm just applying this above the blue, and I'm creating a transition from the blue to the yellow. For the rest of my eye, I'm going to set it with a glitter, and I'm using the NYX Glitter Brilliant for this. Taking some white eyeliner, I'm just going to apply this in between the glitter and the blue. This is going to seriously sharpen things up, and I feel like this makes a big difference. Taking some eyeliner, I'm using the NYX Epic Ink Liner. You want to create a wing. I'm creating this so it's quite big and large and dramatic, and that the shape kind of matches the shape of the cut crease. Taking some black, I'm just outlining the nose area, and then I'm kind of bringing the shadow down onto my nose. Taking some yellow, I'm just applying this on my cheekbone areas, leaving about a 1 centimeter gap from the edge. It's now time to stick the horn on, so I'm taking a wipe and I'm just wiping away where it's going to sit, and then I'm just going to use liquid latex to apply this. I'm using tissue as well, and this is going to really help secure it in place, and you kind of want to paper mache it onto your head. So I'm grabbing little chunks of tissue and then I'm just building my way up slowly, adding layers and layers until it's really secure. Finally, I'm just setting the rest of my face. You don't actually have to do this if you're not going anywhere, but I just decided to do it so it could last longer and it wouldn't move. Moving on to my shaved side, I'm grabbing some white and I'm just filling in the rest of my head. And then grabbing a bunch of different glitters, I'm just literally going to pack that on all over my head. Now that the latex is dry, I'm just filling this in to blend it in seamlessly. Moving on to the neck and chest. So I'm grabbing a beauty blender and I'm just going to fill in my neck. And then grabbing a wipe, I'm just wiping a really clean, sharp line horizontally. Grabbing some white, I'm just creating this neck piece. I don't actually know what it is, but you just kind of want to create this curvy thing. It's really difficult to explain. The ends kind of look like bits of jigsaws. It's kind of like neck ruffles type thing. Like that. Yeah, Victorian neck ruffles. I don't actually know what you call them. If you know the proper name, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm then painting some black lines from the edges up until the top of my neck. But before getting any further onto that, I've then moved on to the rest of my chest, and very simple, I'm just going to literally fill it in purple and white. So I've applied the purple on the more outer areas, and then I'm applying the white on the more central areas. Taking some black eyeshadow, I'm just going to apply this onto the neck piece on the inside. So I'm going to imagine that this is like a 3D object, and you want to apply the shadow where it is kind of like underneath, and then to leave the more white areas to be where the light would hit, the more raised areas. I really hope that makes sense. I'm also adding hints, only a really tiny hint of blue, because I wanted to make it a bit more realistic and it wouldn't just be 100% black and white. And then at the bottom of this, I'm creating these black areas which are going to be kind of like the insides of the folds. Once you're happy with that, you can then go ahead and fill in the rest of your chest. Just be careful with the edges. I'm setting the chest area so that it's easier to add the shadow on after, so I'm grabbing some black eyeshadow and I'm just applying this underneath the ruffles. You want this to be more intense as it goes towards the ruffles and to diffuse out as it goes away. This is going to create a 3D illusion and make it look like it's actually sat on top of your skin. For the eyes, I'm just going to grab some black eyeliner and apply this onto my waterlines. Then going back in with some liquid liner, I'm just creating points on the inner corners of my eyes, kind of like mini wings. And then taking the same liner, I'm creating lines and dots on my face. I'm doing really horizontal ones and vertical ones as well. Do the same on the purple areas of your chest, and then I'm going in with some lashes and I'm applying this on both the top and the bottoms. Now, I learnt this the hard way, but if you leave your ear, it really does stick out, and I have ruined photos in the past from doing this, so ever since then I always film my ear, so go ahead and do that as well if you can. I'm just going in with my finger and I'm just basically matching it up to the rest of my face. And then grabbing some elf ears, I'm just going to paint them in and then apply them. Thank you so much for watching my video, I really do appreciate it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know, and also hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see much more of this kind of content. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at gothspectrum, and finally, I will see you next time.